Hi everyone. Can you remember what sort of animals we're talking about today? Two sorts of animals? I'll give you a clue. One goes meh and one goes bah. Anyway, the ones that go meh are the sheep. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make a sheep mask. And here's mine. It's I'm sure you can do a lot better. I'll put it on. It's quite funny. There you go, proper sheep. And in a minute, I'll show you how I made it. But before then, just think, why are we making this sheep mask? Well, because Jesus wants us to have those characteristics of helping people. And he lists all sorts of people: the hungry, the thirsty, the naked, the stranger, the sick, and so on. And if we help those people, then we're helping him, and we're not thinking of ourselves, and that's what he wants us to do. So when I made my mask, you'll see that on the back I've written lots of those things. I started with Jesus' list, but then I wrote a whole load more as well. So what do you need? To make your mask, you're going to need some cardboard. I used an old cereal packet. You're going to need some scissors, you're going to need some felt tip pens, you're going to need some cotton wool, you might need a knife, you might need some string to tie it on so you can tie it on, some scissors, some glue, or if you don't have glue like I found I didn't have, then some sellotape. And you might also need a grown-up for some of the cutting out bits, if that's appropriate. So what I did was I cut out most of the side of a cereal packet, and then on the inside I drew with a pencil some eyes, because you can put it up against your face and feel where your eyes are, and then where your fingers are you can draw those circles. And then I drew some little spots for where my string holes are going to go through. And then I remembered that I'll need to cut around the outside of those, because you might think you want to do it like that, but you know, want it to go around your face, so it needs to be wider than long. So I drew some lines round to cut off the corners, and then I just used the scissors to cut those corners off, like so. And then, when I'd cut my corners off, I made my holes. Just finishing off making those holes, you use scissors or a knife. Just check that. Yeah, I can see you. Then comes the, I think, the interesting bit really. You start thinking about those words that you want to write on your mask to remind you what sheep should be like. Hungry, I started with, and thirsty. But if you think of people you know who are in need of help, what might they be? Perhaps they're lonely. Perhaps they don't have friends. No friends. What else might they be? So I've done red ones now. I'm going to do another colour. They might be, well, they might just be bored. It can be really, you know, that could be really tiresome, can't you? You can go and cheer people up and take them a game or something to do. They might be sad. They might be in need of some clothes. Maybe they're cold. All sorts of things. All sorts of things. So as you think of them, you can write them down. You see I'm getting on quite fast with mine now. And write them on the inside. And they're good things to think of. On my finished one, I should think I had, oh, look, I'll show you again. I had loads, and I wrote them all around in a different way, in different colours. So have a think about those things. Now, the next thing to do is to get our cotton wool on. So hopefully Mum or somebody's got a big bag of cotton wool balls. That's the best thing. And what I actually did, because I didn't have any glue, was I just got some little lengths of sellotape. You wrap them around themselves to make a little circle. Get a cotton wool ball, plonk it on your mask. Do that, and you just keep on doing that. Wrap around a cotton wool ball. But of course, if you've got some Pritt stick, a new one hopefully, or some glue, you can do it much more quickly with glue. And then I thought I'd like to give my sheep a shiny black nose, but when I drew on the cardboard, because it was the outside of the cereal packet, it didn't show up. So I cut another bit of cardboard out of the cereal packet, and I covered it with nice black felt tip, and then I stuck that on, and then that was my nose, you see there in the middle, under the eyes. There's my other eye, and then I can go around and cover all the rest with cotton wool. Just need to get some string, measure that. That's going to be about that long, isn't it? Measure it around your head. Cut some string with some scissors, and then the simplest thing to do with the string is just to put it through your little hole and then just tie a knot in it. And if it's nice thick string like this is, then it won't come through. Then that'll work. I'll just pop that on. There we go. Obviously, I've got a bit more cotton wool to put on this one, but when you've done it all, I think they're quite funny, and especially with all the words on the inside. And then we can have a sing of that song. When I needed a neighbour, were you there? Were you there? When I needed a neighbour, were you there? So I hope you enjoyed making a sheep mask. Meh.